Hi, today's book review is Close Encounters with Humankind by Sang Hee Lee with Shin Young Yoon. So Sang Hee Lee is a paleoanthropologist, and she talks about the history of humankind and our ancestors. There's a lot of science in here, a lot of anthropology, a lot of biology. I've read other books that are similar that cover the same topics, but this one I thought was a little bit more interesting because she does talk about so much biology. She talks about the benefits and the drawbacks of humans having large brains, and she talks about how having a big brain takes up so much of our daily caloric intake, and that having our hearts positioned where they are with us standing upright, how our hearts have to work against gravity to get blood to our upper bodies and specifically our big brains, and how that is very stressful on the human body, which I had never heard before. So I thought that was interesting. And she does talk a lot about our biology and how it makes us unique, and how it's sort of strange that we evolved in the way that we did. This is written by an academic, but it is not academic language at all. It is a very conversational style, which I appreciate. That's the type of book that I like. Even though she is a scientist, it is not highly technical and confusing. It was very readable, and I marked a page because I wanted to read two things that I thought were the big takeaways from the book. This is on page 220. She says, humans are a reportedly 99.997% genetically similar across all groups, making us exceptionally closely related compared to other animals. So I thought that was interesting. There's so much visual diversity among people, but we're 99.997% similar. So I think that was interesting. And also on the next page, it was interesting that the two things that I thought were most interesting in the book were on sequential pages. The other thing she says is anthropologists have reached a consensus that race is not a biological concept, but a historical, cultural, and social concept. And I thought that was very interesting. This is 2021, January of 2021, and just a few months ago, and still ongoing in different places, there have been so many protests and racial disagreements, and it's just come to the forefront in everybody's minds that there is racism in this country and in a lot of other countries around the world. But she says race is not a biological concept, it's a social concept and historical and cultural. Just it makes you realize just how ridiculous people are to judge each other on the concept of the color of their skin, which is just based on how much melanin you have in your skin. We are practically identical from a genetic standpoint. So to think that certain races are a lower class or deserve to be treated differently, or that there's some behavioral differences between races is just such an outdated, ridiculous idea. So I thought this book was really interesting for that reason. It just talks about the very long millions of years that we've been evolving, and it just kind of makes you realize that we're in this together. We are one species, and we should really pull together and solve the world's problems instead of creating these artificial divisions that make no sense biologically. So this is definitely a good read. I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. Again, it's called Close Encounters with Humankind a paleoanthropologist investigates our evolving species. So pick it up at your library or a bookstore, read it, and let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks.